It's time now for Anderson Speedway's Track Talk. Catch up with everything that's going on at Anderson Speedway with Rick Dawson and Gary Mong.
Good evening, afternoon, or morning. Welcome to Track Talk. Rick Dawson, Gary Mong. We're at the Mounds Mall Special Events Studio this evening, and we are streaming all over the world now.
We are.
On WHBU.com.
We're streaming.
We're streaming.
All right.
So all of our friends can hear us now.
That's a good deal.
All over the
good
country.
Deal.
We, sorry we missed you last week, but the sectionals started, the high school sectionals, last Tuesday night, and so we got preempted. We don't get preempted for Christmas or the holidays, but we get preempted
do for
by
sectional basketball.
know where the priorities are in the wintertime.
That's exactly right. But guess, 4 days away. We are 4 days away. Can't you tell how excited I am? We are 4 days away.
Saturday,
yes,
we're going to start making noise at Anderson
are.
Speedway again after a little bit of a winter respite.
That's right.
The snow is just about all gone. There's still a little across the top of the backstretch, but it'll be gone by Saturday. We are ready to start practicing at the Speedway.
I know I am. All the guys have been called. They're ready to go, too.
Pits open at noon. We'll practice from 1 to 4. It's free to the public. If you want to just come out and watch, come down the pit gate, and we've got it kind of cordoned off. You can't go back with the race cars, but you're more than welcome to come out, sit in the pit bleachers, and watch practice. And had a lot of phone calls. It looks like we may have a lot of cars out there.
That's great.
Good
deal.
I talked to Rodney Oliver and Doug Duggar and the guys with the Thunder Roasters, and they're all excited. Rodney especially. I guess he had his car painted, and he's just if you know Rodney or remember Rodney from racing, he's a lot of fun to be around. And when you put him and Dave Osborne together, you've got a handful with him too.
He raced Legends several years ago. He got out of it. He got back into the Thunder Roadsters. I talked to him a couple times in the off season, and he said he had a blast getting back in those Thunder Roadsters, and he's looking forward to this season.
Talked to Dan Redmond today with the Vors Compact Series. Going to be several of their drivers out there. RJ and Glenn said there's going to be several street stocks and
good
McGonigal late models out there. So, and hopefully we'll have some figure 8 cars out there also. So
we're ready.
We're ready to roll. It looks like it's going to rain on Friday, it looks like, and maybe just a little bit Saturday morning, but Saturday afternoon looks good.
50s is what I'm saying too.
And that seems, that'll be cold come another month or so, but right now it seems
it seems warm.
So this Saturday at Anderson Speedway, we're going to crank up the motors.
And we're ready.
For the 68th season at Anderson Speedway, believe it or not. It's actually going to be starting our 19th season.
Almost as old as you are. Yeah. No, wait a minute. It's the other way around.
Yeah, well, the radio has, FCC has restrictions on what you can say on the radio. We've got a special guest going to be on here just shortly. I want to take care of a little bit of business. First of all, I want to give another shout out to our good friend Steve Wallace, who, wrote the song that was recorded in Nashville about Anderson Speedway. He was just inducted into the ECMA Celebrity Hall of Fame this past weekend, and the song is #1 in 170 countries as of today. And the poem that he wrote, Little 500 Sprint Car Race, won Lyric of the Year in the Independent Country Music Awards for 2015.
That's fantastic.
So that's pretty cool. Steve is one of our great supporters, and I like to talk about him and his accomplishments as much as we can. So congratulations to Steve. Last Saturday night, my daughter Lauren and Dan treated me and Brenda to a night at the Indy Fuel game down in Indianapolis, and I think the hockey game.
You get into the hockey, aren't you?
I told you, I think I talked about this once before. If you get a chance, go to the hockey game. Watching hockey on TV is kind of like watching tennis and golf. It's real boring. You go to a game, it is fun. And
action-packed.
I had a blast down there Saturday night. It was actually race night or something down there. Mark Miles from the Holman and Company was down there and talked a little bit, seen several of our racers. Jacob Wilson, the winner of the last 2 Payless Little 500s, was there, and it was cool to see him. There were several other racers there. I didn't get to see them all, but I could see them in the stands. Had a good time, but it was an absolute blast. And Amy, who's worked her miracles again at the Speedway, we've entered into an agreement with the Indiana Fuel, and we're co-promoting. And April the 1st, April Fool's Day, is going to be Anderson Speedway night down at the Indy Fuel.
Oh, that'll be cool.
In the new renovated Coliseum. We're going to have races on the ice with tricycles, which is going to be cool. All kinds of things going on. You have chances to win tickets to the Speedway, and on top of it all, go to a hockey game at any event. These guys are tough. Now, I'm telling you, they're tough. We've got special ticket prices and everything. All this information will be available on our website, and I'm sure Amy will get it out on Facebook too. But I want to take as many of our fans down there as we possibly can. They're going to be at the Speedway later on in the season, promoting the Indy Fuel also. But I'm telling you, you'll get hooked. It's just like racing. You go down and you see it, you're going to get hooked.
Did you say like 5 seconds? It was action-packed.
Oh yeah, 5 seconds into the match, there was a fight, and then they got that broke up, and 10 seconds into the first period, both teams are in it. I mean, and then on top of that, there was some great hockey. So
they made you
April
a fan,
the 1st on your calendar. It's a Wednesday night, and we'll have a whole lot of information, talk about it a lot coming up. We are working. We had a Little 500 Festival meeting last week. We've added some more events to that. We're going to have a lot of information coming up on that. The month of May is just going to be jam-packed.
2015 in general is jam-packed.
It is. The Payless Little 500, there's a special announcement that I want to make. It's a done deal. The only thing we don't have is just the ink on the contract. The contract's actually in Detroit right now as we speak. That name's going to be changed a little bit. There's going to be an addition to it. So looking forward to being able to announce that here pretty shortly. But here in a couple of minutes, we'll talk. We're getting ready to have our guest on the air, so we'll get to that in a minute. I'm trying to get everything
before we get to our guest,
because I know I'm going to get to talking to this individual, and you're going to really enjoy.
Absolutely.
Listening. It's Davey Hamilton. It's no surprise if you know anything about racing, you know who Davey Hamilton is, and Davey's involved in a lot of things in racing. Racing's in his heart, and we're going to talk to that shortly. We do want to apologize to Aunt Jenny, because we didn't get word to her last week. We weren't going to be on, and she thought something was wrong.
Yes.
But we want to make sure, and we'll give her another shout-out at the end, because I don't know if she's listening quite yet.
Might be getting back from dinner.
She's getting ready to have a birthday next week.
Yes, she is.
95 years old.
96.
96 years
96.
old. That's pretty cool. So we'll get to Aunt Jenny here a little later.
That's right.
But on the line with us now is a good friend of mine, a good friend of the Speedways, and a good friend of racing in general, and a tremendous asset to racing is Davey Hamilton. Davey, how you doing this evening, buddy?
Doing good, Rick. How you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic.
Great.
Tell the folks that may not, I mean, they may be living in a cave and don't know who Davey Hamilton is. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in racing and some of your accomplishments, especially down at the big track.
Yeah, so I'm a farm guy from Idaho, a kid, and so I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho, and second generation racer. My dad Ken, raced from the time I was 2 years old, and in a car called the Pink Lady, so a pretty famous car. It's on the West Coast, and he brought it out here. As a matter of fact, I ran your little 500 several times in it, and just wanted to be a race car driver, and was fortunate to crop the ranks on the West Coast and then super modifieds and started winning races and get nationally, and then finally got a break in 1995 to run Indy cars. So I was able to come where my dream was really to run the Indy 500, and was able to hook up with AJ Foyt and drove for him for a couple of years as a rookie, and then just continued to plan on running one race, really. I mean, the Indy 500 was my goal, but then it grew way more than that. I ended up being 11 Indy 500s now, and was runner-up in the championship a couple times, and so had a good career. Unfortunately, had an accident along there and had to take a few years, like 6 years off, unfortunately. But my passion is short track racing. I came up in super modified sprint cars, midgets, Silver Crown, and now I'm kind of back in those arenas again.
Well, tell us real quick, what's it like to be associated with AJ Foyt, an icon in our industry?
Well, there's good days and bad, I'll assure you that. But you know what? In the day, he was a hero of mine growing up, watching AJ race, and he was the guy winning the races and a 4-time Indy winner. And so getting a call from him to drive, Indy cars as a rookie was like a real honor. But at the same time, it was very intimidating because you didn't want to, do anything wrong because it's AJ Foyt, and you didn't want to make him disappointed in you, and so it was a lot of pressure on both sides. You want to do well, or you're in trouble, but then you didn't want to go tear stuff up and do bonehead things either. So, but he helped me. I mean, my first time at Indy, we're for qualifying, I went out and ran a 233-mile-an-hour lap, and at that point, that's looking at like front row material, and that was in '96, and when I went to qualify, I said, "Hey, we're going for the front row, man. Let's go for the pole." Not realizing that Line Dyke would run a 237 that day, but it was still fast, but when I went to qualify, I ran like 231s and 230s. I'm going, what the heck? You guys wide open. I'm ducking down. I'm doing all I can to get the car freed up. And when I came in and told AJ, I don't know what happened. We still qualified in the third row, I think. And as a rookie, that was pretty good. And I go, man, I don't know what happened. I mean, the car, I don't know why we slowed down or what happened. And bottom line was, he said, well, you were getting ready to crash my stuff. You know what I mean? So, and not those words either. But but he knew that I was young and a rookie, and I was going to go for it no matter what. And so, he put some downforce in it, took some boost out of it back in the turbo days, and slowed me down. I look back at that thinking, man, I feel like I still could have had a front row start, but he was a guy that was probably a lot wiser than I was at that time. So it was good to learn under his wing, and we ran second the championship for him, and he was a good guy. Still great friends with him. So he gave me the opportunity to get started in this, and we cherish him. I cherish that that opportunity.
Hey, Davey, this is Gary. What's it really feel like to drive a car at 230 plus miles an hour? I mean, can you really tell you're going that fast, or it's beyond comprehension?
Yeah, the first, until you get used to it a little bit, it seems like you're going 500 mile an hour, I think. But once you kind of get the hang of it, and it slows down. It's pretty sad that you get used to going 230 plus miles an hour, but it's reality of it, and it always feels good when it's good, but when it goes bad and you lose control or something, it doesn't feel that good. So, because it definitely speeds up. But these cars are, even back then, there's so much technology that goes into them to make them what they are and make the racing what it is. And I still feel they're very safe, even though we, everyone get hurt in anything. But being that low and going that fast it's quite a rush. It's hard to explain. The closest thing I can tell people is come and go for a ride in a two-seater Indy car at 180, because most people haven't been that fast, but at least give them a little indication of kind of what we go through as racing drivers. And I think it's a good opportunity for that general fan or a media person to kind of feel what we go through.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I mean, I get to meet a lot of people in this industry, and a lot of named people, yourself including that, but in that list, I have a bucket list of there's 3 people that I still would like to meet, and I'd probably end up crumbling like a fool if I ever got the chance to shake their hand. And on the top of that list is AJ Foyt, Roger Penske, and Joe Gibbs. I mean, those are 3 people that I really, really respect and have done a lot for our industry. And
big time! Oh, those are 3 guys. Let me tell you, those are and I know 2 of them really well, and Mr. Gibbs is the only one I don't know well, but I've met, and you're right. I mean, those guys have done so much for our sport, and they're so intelligent, and what they've been able to accomplish is just it's crazy, really. I mean, just figure you add up what they've all done as far as wins and look at Joe in football and in racing, right? So he's done it in 2 different sports,
yes.
But with Roger and AJ, I mean, you count the wins up between the 2 of them. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I really respect Mr. Penske and Gibbs for their not only their people skills but also their business savvy. I mean, it just seems like the perfect model especially for our industry, but for
how they go about it, so classic. It really is. I mean, they're amazing people. And Joe Gibbs actually, Supercross is here Saturday night in downtown, and Joe Gibbs has a Supercross team as well. So, he's involved in a lot of different things.
Yeah. Well, you are involved in a lot of different things, and first and foremost, which is probably paramount to Anderson Speedway, especially this year, is the King of the Wings. Tell us about that and what the fans get to look forward to on June the 26th, I believe, 28th.
Yeah, I'm really excited about coming to Anderson. I mean, we've been able to go to some really good racetracks with King of the Wing, and being able to come to Anderson. It's a historic racetrack and such, one of the most popular racetracks in the country. It's been here a long time, especially for the Little 500. But King of the Wing was a concept I came up with, actually a couple of years ago, and I finally activated it last year. Is putting wings on pavement sprint cars, which had been done before. But what I noticed was they were just races. There were guys in Florida racing them in the Northwest, California, here in the Midwest, but there was no real events, nothing big and special. So and nothing on a national level. So I put a program together to where we could have a true national champion, and everybody races against everybody. And we started off last year with 3 races in the Midwest, 3 races out in California, and it was super successful. We had a huge car count, and a lot of people came to watch. There were great racers. JoJo Helberg won the overall championship, and was a lot of fun. And this year we expanded it by 5 races, so it's an 11-race series this year in 4 different regions. We start off in Florida and Pensacola, Florida, and then Mobile, Alabama, April 10th and 11th. And then we come right here to the Midwest, and then we run Toledo Speedway, Winchester, and then we finish off the Midwest tour in Anderson. So. Then we have a little bit of a break and head to the Northwest. We're in Meridian Speedway in Idaho, and then 2 races in Monroe, Washington, in the Seattle area. And then we cap it off in November in California with Irwindale Speedway, Kern County Speedway in Bakersfield, and the Madera Speedway. So really good tracks, really, tracks that are all nice, all legit, all have, all popular racetracks. And then that gives every region, a chance to really be, a champion with the best of the best.
Yeah, that's just it. You're going to bring some of the best sprint car drivers, if not the best sprint drivers in the country, to Anderson Speedway when you come. And another unique format is and it's good for the competitors, especially the ones that travel. It's Friday night at Toledo, Saturday night at Winchester, and Sunday at Anderson.
That's right. So the way we made it work, we know that we all work, and we all it costs a lot of money to travel and to race. So I figured if I could put 4 weekends out of the 52 weeks a year and put 3 races on every event, every weekend, it gives the racer that has to travel from California or Canada. When I say Canada, I mean British Columbia, Victoria, and Vancouver, Canada. They come all the way out from there, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. It makes sense for them to come out here because they have opportunity to race 3 different times, make 3 different purses, and pay their way a little bit. And the same for us when we go out west. When you have 3 in a row like that, it adds up pretty nicely. The first payout is $3,000 to win and $750. If you get that's every night, still $22 for a racer, and that pays for a lot of fuel and tires to help them get here.
Exactly, and I think something that the fans need to know: you've been on both sides of the scale here, and you have not only the best interest, you're on the promotion side as far as the tracks and the success of them, but also on the competitor side, looking for cost-effective ways that everybody can race, not just those that might be more fortunate in the money department. You're always looking for ways for it to be less expensive, and there's not a whole lot of sanctioning bodies that do that. I mean, CRA does it to a degree. Jim has done it to a certain degree with Must See, but there's still some areas where I think you found to make it more economical for the racers.
Yeah, without a doubt, that's something we have to continue to work on because our sport, is challenging as it is, and it's getting, a lot harder than a lot easier picking up sponsors, whether it's for the racer or whether it's for the series or contingency sponsors or you as the track, getting title sponsorship and associate sponsors just to help put on the venue. So with that being more difficult and the price is coming down and the cost of a lot of the equipment going up, it just doesn't map out. So that's exactly right. Since I own cars and I'm on that side with my son racing, and we got to save money in all areas that we can, and so I spent a lot of time at the promoters' workshops this year, working with a lot of the manufacturers, and the tracks and other promoters just to figure out what we have to do to get the cost of racing down, but and by the way, get the crowds back up, because these are some of the most exciting races you'll ever see. If you haven't seen a winged sprint car on pavement, it's exciting. I mean, it's great racing, and I think what it does is it actually adds the extra groove, because if you can't go up high in some cars with a wing on it, it allows you to be able to do that. So if the cost goes too high, people can't afford it again. So I work really hard on a daily basis, really, to do everything I can to keep the cost down.
Sure, and as an aside, you mentioned the Payless Little 500. I'm pretty sure Jessica put an envelope on my desk the other day that had an entry from Davey Hamilton Racing.
Yeah, so for the first time, my son, he's gonna, where he wanted to do it, and so he's actually gonna run under the Bob East camp. And since I can't be there, so Bob East is gonna have Kyle Hamilton and DJ Hamilton running for him at the Little 5, and I'm excited about it. And my son he only weighs 120 pounds, so I hope he can make the 500 laps. That's gonna be a challenge. But I'll say this: he's at the gym working hard. He goes to the gym, and he has a whole different attitude and look, but I know these kids are tough, but 500 laps around there is not that easy. So, but we're definitely excited about it. And when I got your entry, and I think the day I got it, I sent it right back in. So we're excited about it.
That's great.
Well, we're excited too. We got about a minute left. We could talk to you for an hour, Davey, and I know we're going to get you back on here. Anything else going on that you'd like to tell the fans about?
Yeah, just quickly, since we're short on time, I've been fortunate enough to, like, be on all sides of motorsports from promoter, just like you have in racetracks and owning them and driving and owning teams. So I had the opportunity to join with USAC, and I'm now in charge of all Silver Crown midget sprint car racing in USAC. So it's a whole new challenge, whether it's dirt or pavement, and kind of the historical classes within USAC we now run. And another great thing is King of the Wing is under the USAC banner now. So just brings some credibility to both series, I think, and very excited about that. It's a title that started yesterday. I mean, we've been in negotiations for a few months, but yesterday was official, and there's a lot to do. But I'm going to try to get midgets back on the plate, try to get the Focus midgets, the HPD midgets, really, both of them back to play again, and bring some more series under the USAC banner.
Well, that's fantastic news for us.
Yes.
Your work is definitely cut out for you, but I know you can do it, and bring it back and
bring it home.
Get them organized down there. Well, Davey, we appreciate you spending the time with us. I know you're very busy. We didn't even get into the fact that you have an entry also, I believe, in the Indianapolis 500 this year. We'll get you back. We'll get you back on the air here in a couple of weeks. But I really appreciate you spending the time, and not only on the radio show, but with me and my Speedway and the fans here in Anderson. We really appreciate the relationship.
Yeah, cool. My pleasure, Rick. Anytime. Good talking to you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Davey Hamilton, we're going to hear a lot from that young man. I mean, just dynamic. We're running a little behind, but so we're going to step aside and take a quick break, and we'll be back to wrap her up when we're done. You're listening to Anderson Speedway's Track Talk.
When I was a boy, we had family pitch-in dinners on Sunday, so I knew on Saturdays Mom would be in the kitchen baking pies, and especially sugar cream pies. I will never forget pulling a chair up to the table. I always turned the chair around back so I could perch on my knees while watching Mom take her fingers and flute the pie crust. You know, that little squiggly thing all the way around. And of course, after the pies were baked, we would beg and plead with Mom, only to have her put her foot down and say, nope, we were not going to get any pie until everybody came by tomorrow. But on Sunday at the family gathering, that first bite of pie was always worth the wait. Mom's a little older now, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy freshly made sugar cream pies together. Now, instead of Mom making them, I pick up a Wix sugar cream pie. They use simple, fresh ingredients because of Wix rigid freshness standards. The wholesomeness and taste of their pies is better than Mom's. But don't tell her I said that. Now you can pick up a Wix sugar cream pie at most of your local grocery stores. Just look for them in the frozen dessert aisle. I'm Brownie, and I can honestly say about Wix pies, you don't just eat them, you enjoy them.
Heart attack? Stroke? Serious injury. A sudden health crisis can happen to anyone, at any time. So when bad things happen, choose good people. St. Vincent Anderson Regional Hospital has the area's most advanced emergency care. with a state-designated Level 3 trauma center, an internationally accredited chest pain center for heart attack patients, and advanced certification for primary stroke care. We have all the resources to deliver the care you need for any serious or life-threatening emergency. St. Vincent Anderson Regional is the only emergency department in the area with an on-site helicopter. And our $27 million state-of-the-art surgery pavilion opens later this year. Bad things can happen to anyone. Thankfully, good people are ready to help. Choose emergency care from St. Vincent Anderson Regional, the spirit of caring. Visit stvincent.org/Anderson Regional to learn more.
Honey, stop! Oh my gosh, that's Diggity's back there.
You mean the new Diggity's Frozen Treat Factory?
I heard it's unbelievable. Everybody's talking about it. They have everything yummy.
Yeah, I heard they have ice cream, yogurt, custard, sorbet.
And gelato, plus fruit smoothies, and that's just the beginning.
I heard Diggity's has over 250 toppings, not 30 or 40 like those other places, and you can even get the candy to go separately.
We can eat outside on their huge patio by the fire, too.
Okay, let's see. Frozen yogurt, ice cream, custard, sorbet, and gelato with 250 toppings, or a plain old frozen yogurt shop with limited toppings?
Diggity's it is!
Diggity's wants to cater your event. Diggity's can set up at your event inside or out and provide delicious smoothies, frozen cappuccinos, candies, and frozen treats to your guests. Diggity's is perfect for weddings, company picnics, group outings, sporting events, festivals, you name it, just call Diggity's. 765-393-0033 today for more information.
MoFab Incorporated, where imagination is the only limitation. We serve residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal customers as your metals warehouse and fabrication center. We do all types of fabrication using the latest technology with unmatched speed, accuracy, and durability on any substrate. Our ornamental division handles all types of interior and exterior work, including rails, fences, gates, and more. So contact us at mofabbing.com to fabricate your dreams of tomorrow today.
This program is a presentation by Anderson Speedway. The content contained in this program is that of the host and guests, and not this station.
That was a little CCR. I got that one on one note. We're
right
back
with you.
Anderson Speedway's Track Talk, Rick Dawson and Gary Mong. We've only got a couple minutes left. Talking to our good friend Davey Hamilton. I mean, he's one of those guys you can just sit down with and talk to and just talk forever. And it's neat. They've done things that you've heard about or dreamed about being and talk to people, and it's just really neat. We were talking about the low 500 and entries. We talked about Davey Hamilton Racing sent their entry in, but they weren't the first one this year. That's kind of like a prize.
And it wasn't Brian Gerster either, was it?
I don't know what happened with Brian. I don't know if he's just slipping in his old age or what. But this year's first entry into the Payless Little 500 is none other than Aaron Pierce, the 26 car out of Daleville, Indiana.
There you go.
Is our first entry in this year's Payless Little 500 presented by, I want to say it really bad. We will, I think next week
Hopefully,
we'll get the paperwork back, but we're going to have a blast this season.
We are.
Again, this Saturday, practice, pit gates open at noon, practice from 1 to 4, and any cars that race at Anderson Speedway throughout the year, we'll make sure you get plenty of track time this Saturday. Maybe a little damp in the morning. Don't let that bother you.
Yep.
We're going to practice Saturday, and if it don't get the track quite dry by 1, we'll keep going until we do.
There you go.
So we appreciate you spending the time with us tonight, today, this evening, whenever you're listening to us.
And hello to Aunt Jenny once again.
Hello, Aunt Jenny.
Yes.
We're glad you got to hear us this
That's
evening.
exactly right.
And we'll wish you another happy birthday next week. For Gary Mong, I'm Rick Dawson. Thanks for listening, and we will see you at the Speedway.